Preferred oversees all of our IT. Anything that's plugged in, they have control of, which is really nice. We did put Preferred up against a few other similar IT services. And in the end, I think it was the way that Vince kind of presented himself. He came in, talked through what they were going to do and the systems and the processes that they had in place, and it all seemed to fit really well with our systems. The onboarding experience was pretty seamless. I do remember them coming in, everyone getting numbers on their computers, and the the process felt we thought was going to be overwhelming, and it was easy to turn on. When Preferred came on, we were in the office. Since then, we've gone fully remote, but at the time, we were toying with starting to work out of office, and having them part of that process was really helpful, especially when it came to backups and file security, because some of it was at the time we had a server room and there were daily, nightly, hourly backups, and they had to be really secure, locked down, and then switching that to remote, that we really needed, because all of a sudden, like, pulling tapes and all that was just wasn't feasible anymore. We got quotes from three other companies to handle our ITs and our IT services, and they were all really good. I mean, they all on paper checked the boxes of what they were going to do. Preferred had more of a process in place and was flexible with how we could work with them, because at the time I think we were 20-ish people, and they were flexible with how many systems they would monitor and what they would do. So we were able to kind of ramp up and ramp down based on our needs. And I think that was the big difference. We were in the process of signing a contract with a new client who needed a certain type of security with our networks, and so we were upping our security game when Preferred happened to be in front of us. So it worked out really well. There are always some things that we don't you don't know you don't think about until they happen. You're like, wait, does this fall under IT? Like, and is this part of it? And they're flexible enough that it's just a phone call to say, hey, are you taking care of this contract or are we? Because all of a sudden, actually at the time it was a contract with Canon that I remember. I'm like, well, the printer's plugged in. Does that fall under IT? So it was things that you don't think about all of a sudden pop up, and but they made it really easy to work around whatever systems we had.
I think it's very good. Yeah, very quick, very responsive. Even if they can't or haven't had experience in figuring it out, they'll dig in and figure it out, and very helpful. And I feel like I have a partner when I'm having situations like that where I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just fooling around here. I'm probably going to mess something up. And, they're like, it's not what we do, but we'll jump in and help you figure it out. The customer service, just helping us fill the gaps that we bump into. Like, I'm kind of like the first stop of people going, hey, I can't figure out the blah blah blah, and they'll contact me usually first, and then I will try to help them, and then I will say I can't help you, then Preferred will. So I try to be, that first stopgap. And so I really appreciate how they just kind of pick up right where I leave off and take it from there. And just in general, the timeliness, they're really quick. And if I put in a request for a laptop quote or have an issue or whatever, I mean, they jump on it quickly.
We were signing a contract with a large bank, and we had to document our security systems for the contract. They put together a really extensive proposal of what could happen and the costs and what the implications were, and they really helped us win that pitch. So because of the security systems that were in place, it helped us actually get more business, which is not what you usually think about security. Usually think about it as after the fact, but this was preemptive, which was nice.
Last week we had that weird web server thing pop up, and our site was now duplicated on a different subdomain. I don't know what they were going to do with it, but it was freaky, and we didn't know what was going on. We contacted the person who we have the site hosted with, and who helped to set up the domain records. And we got on with him and Andrew at the same time, and the two of them were working together to figure it out, and we got it solved pretty quickly. To me, that was a exceeded moment because I'm like, that's probably not what they do or signed up for. But yeah, he was on it and was ready to help.
The fact that they were willing to jump on a call now, and when you have a moment of fear when someone duplicates your website, and they just jumped on, we figured it out, fixed it right there. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
great. I think the investment in Preferred has absolutely been worth it. Like they're they're part of our team. Preferred has been an excellent partner. They go beyond what you think that they would do. So when we got our first proposal, there was definitely a line listing of this is what they're covering. But then once you go beyond that list and you get into the day-to-day stuff, there's so much more that is between the lines that isn't line listed that they take care of that has been great.
it feels like a partnership. It feels like it isn't just expertise, it's people that actually care about us and the type of problems that we run into. I see empathy in how they respond. Like, yeah, that is kind of irritating, or yeah, I don't know what that is. Let me figure that out. Let me contact Google. That would irritate me too. Like, what in the world? They don't just like give you a scripted answer. They're right there with you, going, "That's weird. Let's fix that." And I dig that. I feel like I have somebody who's on my side, facing down the giant, slaying the dragon with me.